tutorial, we're going to learn how to use your website editor. So this is for any of our clients that are using our full branded sites, so such as a basic template, semi-custom, premium semi-custom, or custom website. So first thing you're going to do is from your CRM system is head over to the website tabs. There you'll see a link of any editable website that you may have currently with us. So you're simply going to click on that link. Now this is going to bring you into the legacy CRM system, right into the websites tab. Now from this page, the editor actually has two sections. You have this section here where you can add additional pages right from here if you wish to. Manage MLS listings, your landing pages, you can adjust lead gen options and so on. So we'll run through those shortly. The next thing you're going to do is head over to the website editor. So the website editor, this is going to prop up your website in editor mode. Please note, if you have a website that is semi-custom or higher, meaning a semi-custom, premium semi-custom, or custom, a lot of the features to do with your homepage can only be edited by support. As long as there is no custom request that you're asking, these changes will have no costs associated with them, and our support team will take care of them, typically same business day. Now you have three portions of your website editor once you were in this section. So you have your navigation, your content editor, or your widget editor. On the home page and throughout the website itself, a lot of the components you see here are actually part of the widget. So by clicking on the widget editor, it'll provide you these little, not this one, but it'll show you little options as to how you can edit such widgets. So for example, the featured neighborhoods here, if I wanted to change those neighborhoods, I would simply click on this page here. You can see here that it's a global widget. So if I only wanted the changes to occur on this page, I can do that, not throughout the website where any of that is found. I can choose whether or not I'm hiding that widget from the public view. I can also change the title of those widgets. So for example, if I wanted to call this featured cities, for example, I have that ability to do so. Now, what I'm also going to do is select the categories that I want. So this is what items are going to show here. So please note that featured neighborhoods doesn't have to be featured neighborhoods. It could be whatever you want it to be. So in this case, I'm just going to select the featured categories. Now from here, you're going to be able to see the current areas that I have. You can arrange the sort order. So 0 typically is the first spot, but you can start with 1 by all means, and this is the order it's going to be. Should I want to add an additional area or remove one of these existing, I remove here, and then I can add an additional. So just to give you an idea, I'm going to remove Markham from this list so it no longer exists. I'm then going to go here and I'm going to choose which one I want to add. So I'm going to pick map search. I want my map search to show here, and I'm going to add it in. So by simply adding the map search, it has showed it here. You can see the sort order is 0, so it's showing in the first spot. I want this to be the last one, so I'm actually going to put in the 8th spot. So now we can see that it's in the last spot. This one isn't actually 8, but it's pushed it over just because of the numbers. I could go through and adjust the sort, don't need to. Now I want an image for this. So when you're changing the images for the featured section specifically, you would just select the change image. From here, it brings you into the gallery. You can upload images. We also have the featured communities. Please note that this section, those widgets need to be a width of the images are 40 pixels by 240 pixels for that. So for this, I'm just going to find a picture of a map and select that image. Now we can see, I did it for this one because I changed the image on Pickering. So let's just actually change that to a Pickering picture if we do have something along those lines. I am not 100% sure. And let's just, you know what, for the sake of it, let's just select this one. So now we have the image associated. Once you go through this process and you're satisfied with the adjustments you've made, for this specific widget, you would hit close and refresh. It's then going to show you on the page the new widget. So we added the map search. We didn't change the image, but we did add the image for Pickering. So that is the widget editor. Now there is different widgets depending on what they are. And if you do need any help with any specific widget, please email support@agentlocator.ca. Now, some of you may want to add content to your page. So a good example is the About page. So on the About page, it starts off with no content here, or maybe you want to update content on the site. So for this, you're going to use the content editor. As you add the content editor, you're going to notice the little content boxes are showing. Please note that you have widgets on the side. So with Agent Locator, these widgets are in text format. Do not delete these, or you will delete all the widgets and content off of your website. So for here, what you would do for the content editor is you simply click inside of the box that you want that content to present. You would then add your content. So you do have the ability to edit. You can copy paste from Word format. You can upload images. You can create hyperlinks in here as well. So if you wanted to, let's say, add an image, you would just click image. You would then browse the server to find the images. So let's say if I have an image here, I have this image. This is a fairly large image, so I'm going to select it. And its width is at here. Now, one thing with images, and again, you can always email support if you wish, but the images themselves need to be mobile responsive. So in order for an image to be mobile responsive, it first needs to be the appropriate size for the area that you're placing that image, but we also need it at 100%. So for this, I would go 100% is what I would do. I don't need the height there. So 100% is the width. This is going to pull this image in full format. So if I'm looking at this image on mobile, it's not going to be spanning or out of the page view. It's going to show as it should be. It'll be adjusted based on the screen size. Now, let's say I want to, with this image, I want to hyperlink it. I want this image to go somewhere. So all I would do is highlight this image and then click the link button. For this, I'm going to, let's say I want it to go to Google, google.com. I have the ability to do a target as well. Now, the link, you can do it to an email or an anchor somewhere in the text of the page, whatever you wish. The target is not set. So in this case, I would either, you can choose whether you want it to go into a new window, a pop-up window, the same window. I like to always put in a new window, so it always opens up, keeps the existing site open. So I'm going to do new window. You do have some advanced information. This is more or less for our support team to be working on. So once we've added the link and the target, we're going to just hit OK. So anyone now clicking on this image is going to be brought into Google, and we'll show you how that works afterward. Now, other things that you may want to do is source code or iframing in. So if you have a video from YouTube, for example, you may want to add that in. You would do that through an iframe, which you would actually do through here. So if you'd like to see how that works, I'm just going to save this. So in order for this to save, anytime you're using the widget or the content editor, once you have performed the action that you're looking to do and want it to save, you need to click outside of the text box. This is going to force the saving pop-up to appear where you can save your changes. Simply hit OK. You know that it's been saved. So I'm just going to go on YouTube quickly and find a video that I can throw on there. So here's one that we have, which is one of our Beverly Ruffner calls. I'm just going to share this, and I'm actually going to get the embedded version of it. So the embedded version is giving you an iframe, is what it's doing. Now you can change the height and width if you wish to, right from your iframe here. You can start it at a certain time. You can show player controls or not show player controls, entirely up to you. You have privacy enhanced mode and so on. So all you're going to do is simply copy this iframe here, and then you are going to go back into your page. Now, I'm going to just put my cursor anyway because I'm going to put source. So you're going to have to a little bit understand. So I'm going to move this over. What this is, so heading 1, that's your about, agent locator, website examples, and then you can see the image. And then let's say below my image, I want this video to appear. So I'm going to paste that iframe in here. I'm going to hit OK. We can now see that that video is showing in the bottom. Again, I'm going to click on this page outside of the box to prompt the save. Now, in order to see this video and how it works, we're just going to turn off the content editor. Now we can see that the video is here, as you can, or the image rather. We can see that the hand has appeared, indicating that it's a link. So I'm going to click on it. The new window appears, bringing me into Google. So that's how those hyperlinks work. Hyperlinks also work in text format as well, where you highlight the text and link it that way. And then we also have the video in here where we can choose to watch the video. This embedded option also works for Facebook or Vimeo. If you have videos on those platforms, you can also embed them onto the page. If you need help formatting these, again, email our support team, support@agentlocator.ca. Now, we are going to discuss certain aspects of the site, such as adding pages, updating your contact information, that sort of thing. So there's a couple different ways you can actually edit a page on here or add a page. So one you have down here at the bottom is your page settings. This is going to show you any current page settings that you have. The parent, so if you want to adjust the parent, so right now this is a main menu item. We can now change it if we want it to move it into a drop down of another main item, menu item there. We also have the ability to select an image that we want associated with this page. So maybe I want to throw in, I want this as my image associated with this page for sharing purposes. You have the title, the page name. Do we want to hide this page from public, and the URL? The URL, do not change this because it is associated with the about. You may get an error, the page doesn't exist. It just redirects you to the home page. If you wish to change your URL to something specific, please contact support again. They will assist you with that. You also have the ability to link it to another page, meaning that if you click on the about, instead of opening in Agent Locator, it'll open up in a different window. You also can add meta keywords. So these are keywords that are used perhaps on Google when visitors are looking for content that may be relevant to that page. So in here I could put real estate agent or real estate sales representative, Crystal DeVries, Pickering Realtor, Toronto Realtor, Vancouver Realtor, all those different things that are keywords of what people might be looking for to find that page. And then you have a description, so what that user or visitor would find on that page. So these are the information in Google. If you do a Google search, for example, let's just go Toronto, I'm just going to go Toronto Realtor. So for example, you would see here you have your keywords, real estate, realtor, real estate, and then this is the description itself. Okay, so that is where you'd find that, and as you can see, I'm just trying to see one that might have one. So there we have Toronto real estate, Toronto, keywords again. So I'm doing Toronto Realtor as my keywords, and then again, that is your description. So that's one way that you're able to do that. If you make any changes this way, you would just hit save to do that. Now you also, under this category, under the About section, maybe you want to add a new page, a sub-page under that. So to do that, you just add sub-page. You can select the type of page. So the type of page is really reflective of how that page is going to be laid out. So if I wanted to create a duplicate About page, I can. If I wanted to create a page that doesn't have any columns, it's just a straight page for content, I would do no columns. So there is different page types that can be used. So you can select which one you want. From there, you would then give the page a title. So let's just call this About To. And then I'm going to call it again About To. So I like to personally keep mine consistent. And then it's going to ask you, where do you want to nestle this page? Do you want it under the About? And it is going to default to that specific page. You can definitely change this afterwards. So I'm going to show you that through method 2 of using the website editor and the pages. So again, once you've created it here, you add the page and edit. It's going to bring it up. Now, if we go to the About, we're going to see that the About To is listed right under that About menu. Okay, so that's how you would add a subpage into the system. Now, if you wanted to add another main category, you would select that it does not have a parent. And again, we're going to go through method 2 of how to add that page. Now, some of you may wish to update your About information. Now, portions of this is a widget. So if we select the widget editor, we have the About settings. So the About settings is going to allow you to select an image right here. So again, if we want to select an image, let me just see, I'm going to select this lady here. We have that image. If you have your image, if you need our team to crop out a background or anything like that, again, our support team would be more than happy to do that for you. And then we don't want to hide it. We want it just globally for this specific reason. We want all of these to be the same. Now, some agents I have worked with in the past do like to have different images on different pages just for whatever their own reasons. They got several different photos and they want to take advantage of using all of them. So some of them will change up which photos being used on certain pages. So in that case, if you wanted to do that, you would make sure you are always doing your page changes for this page. And then again, once you're all said and done, you just save and refresh. So that's updating the image more or less and where it's showing. Now, updating the content and your information about yourself, that is going to be done through the first section of the editor itself. So we'll go over that in just a moment. I just want to head over to this navigation section first and foremost. So the navigation section, this is going to allow you to adjust the color content. So the majority of these sites have the different themes based on the top or the content or the footer. If you're on a layout 6 or 7, you actually have it through the widgets, especially on the home page. So just to show you again with the featured categories, at the bottom here, you have the different ways that you can add in specific color codes. So if I want the title to be a certain color or button to be a certain color on that section, you can do it right there. Some individuals, this is a little bit more complicated than you would like. So again, always ask support. They are not going to charge you for these changes. They will do it for you. They want to make it easy. We understand that you are real estate professionals, not website designers. So in the navigation section, you can, so if you're on a basic website, you actually have the ability to adjust and change your layout at any given time if you wish to do so, and you can do this on your own if you really wanted to. You also have pre-selected themes if you wanted to. Select like a standard theme for a couple brokerages. Now, more often enough, people are doing their custom changes. So you have, like, for the top section, like the top bar, which is this little gray bar here, the account links, which is these ones here. You then have your menu, so that's your menu background, and then your menu text, which is this, the text on the menu. Now, because this specific layout doesn't have a background like some other ones, or perhaps if I go into the communities page, how you see it red, this color change for this specific layout type, which I believe this is layout 6, is only going to show on the inner pages. Unless you ask again support, they can make the front page solid if that's what you're looking for. Now, to change the color, what you would do is you would just simply go top. Let's say I want to change this menu color, and you have this floating scale. You can move it. So maybe I want it like fluorescent green just because we're being fun. So once you have it, it's actually giving you a color code here. You can preview it. It's going to show you that color and how that looks before you save it. If you're satisfied, you're going to save it. Now, some of you may have pre-existing logos or branding, like marketing material that have specific color codes already. So if that's the case, you can actually go online, and if you have that actual code, but I can show those who may want to look up specific colors, is you have the ability, you can just go to HTML color codes, and you can literally pick a color wherever you want. It's a little bit bigger this way. So the color picker is great. It gives you some complementing colors. It gives you some, just a little bit of insight. But if you wanted to pick a specific color, it's going to give you the hex code. It's going to give you the RGB numbers as well. So if you wanted this specific color for something, you can use it. So if I went, for example, I wanted this teal color, I'm going to copy that. I'll head back over here. In this case, I'm going to make my top bar that color. Kind of funky, 2 little greens, but I want my top bar to be that color. So I'm actually going to edit this little hashtag here and put the color code there. We can see that it's there. I can still adjust it in here if I want to. Again, I'm going to hit preview to see it. And if I'm satisfied with all this, I'm just going to hit save, and it's going to ask me to save it. So now the color has been changed on the inner pages for that. Now you would do the same for any internal content as well. So if you are looking to update the content, so the primary color, this will be like the buttons that you're seeing are these little cookie crumbs. That's what it's changing. So when you preview it, it'll allow you to see exactly where that changed. And then of course you have your footer as well, where you can adjust these footer, these menu kind of bar color background colors as well. Now you do have, you can turn off your editor or log off of the editor if you want to. It's going to default into here every time you log into the site. If you do not log off of the editor, I will always open an editor in an incognito window to prevent that from happening in my main desktop windows, if that makes sense to any of you. So now what I'm going to do is, as you recall, we have 2 tabs open, and we actually have 3. We have our CRM system, then we clicked websites, that brought us into this page, and then we clicked on using website editor to bring up the website itself. Now from this page, we're going to look at some of your options. So I'm just going to refresh it so that the about and all that, anything that we did there is just updated. So here you have your menu items that are present. Some of them may be hidden, some of them may maybe not. So for example, the other page, I know if I go into settings, I know that this is hidden off of the menu. It's not on the menu. So you can choose to unhide it if you don't want it hidden anymore. You can also change the name. You can also do all the linking from there. You also have the ability to adjust where this sits in the menu. So remembering that 0 is the first spot, and then it goes through 1 through however many page items you have, but you can adjust the menu position. So if you want it to go, you know, home, other, whatever it may be. So as you can see here, that is hidden. So it's just going this way, that way. Now you do have the ability to add your meta descriptions here as well, your keywords. Again, that is the layout for that specific page. If you have a featured community description, this is on layout 6 and 7. There's a little description sometimes, or this can often be pulled on the custom sites. If you have those little write-ups, they'll use this section here as well to update that little brief write-up on the page itself. Now, going into, so you have those sections there. If you want to add a new subpage under other, for example, you just simply go add new subpage. Again, you just give it a title, menu name, and select a theme, and you hit save. You will not edit any of your pages from here. This is simply for adding the page, and you will still need to go into this portion of the editor to edit any of the content related to that page there. Now, the Manage MLS section here is super beneficial, and it allows you to perform, you know, various things. So some of the things you have is your featured listings or permission to advertise featured listings. So on the website itself, you have what we call as the featured listing section. Apparently this one is turned off. Oh, no, it is not turned off. So I'm not sure why it's not showing. Could be because it's not really connected to a brokerage. Could be potentially why it's not showing. But the featured the featured listing section itself, that there would show listings that are yours first, followed by some of your brokerage listings. So that's typically how that widget works. Now, if let's say somebody from your office gave you permission to advertise their listing and showcase their listing specifically, you would add that listing ID here so it shows up in that widget. You would also list open houses here as well. Now, you do have also the ability to change the MLS values on an existing listing. So this is going to basically allow you to create like a custom write-up. So you can actually override the description of a listing on your website, regardless if it's yours or not. So if you really wanted to upsell a listing and add more description to it, you can. This is also where you would add in the dates for open houses. If you have any links that you may want to add with respect to virtual tours or inspections, you can give it a custom title instead. So there's a lot that you can do if you wanted to update an existing MLS. And again, even in the description that you have for the property. So let's say if somebody clicks on a listing, let me just go find a listing to click on. So let's say for this listing, you want in the description a video right there. So someone doesn't have to go anywhere else. They can just watch the video. They don't have to click through anything. You can actually have that so that it is embedded right in the content, that description for the property. So that's pretty cool there. Again, if you guys need any help with any of this, our support team is more than happy to help you, allowing you to focus on actually buying and selling houses for your clients. So that is updating existing property. Now you can also add in exclusive listings. So the exclusive listings, or coming soon properties, those are not limited or on MLS. This is a way to have them and advertise them on your website before they hit the market. So it's pretty straightforward. You add all the information that you would with respect to that property that you have. You can add the description of that listing. Now, once you add the exclusive listing, it's going to bring, it's going to, I don't have a title, so let's just go test exclusive. And then if you add the exclusive listing, now once you add it, you can also update the values, but you can also upload your photos. So you would add the photos in that you wanted associated with that property. So this is a great way to help build your rankings on Google. So a lot of questions that we get a lot of times is, why does so-and-so's website, why is it showing first in Google for my listing? Well, first and foremost, Google doesn't know that that's your listing. It's a listing. That website likely has a better SEO ranking than your site. So one thing that you can help do to promote that your website is showing your listing first at the search results if someone's looking for that specific property, is adding it as an exclusive listing first. Google is going to recognize that your website was the first site that had information on it with respect to that property that's currently for sale now. So in due time, and maybe not right away, it will start to recognize this and start promoting your website for your listings first on Google. So that's one thing that you're able to do. So that's add in an existing exclusive listing. Now, once you have those exclusive listings here, you can see them showing the name of those exclusive. You can edit them from here or delete them. This will be the same instance for these editing the existing on there as well. Now, you can also add in pre-construction properties here. To do that, you would just, again, it's like data entry. So same idea as adding an exclusive listing. You add in the content and information surrounding that development there. You can have VIP pricing. There's your property description. And one thing's cool about the pre-construction is that you have the ability to hide the pricing and the floor plans. So what this does is when the user wants to look, view the VIP pricing, they have to register in order to gain access to that information. People who already were registered on your website will have access. They don't have to re-register or anything like that. And again, you add your information, your descriptions, and then you update it to be able to add the photos in for that specific pre-com. Once you do have some active listings in here, you will actually see a list right below this. This is going to show you your active MLS listings, and you can also see your quote unquote sold listings. So active listings, you will also see a button right next to those that'll say edit. For those active listings, you can edit the price right away. So if you do a price reduction and you want it to reflect on your website instantly, you can go in there and edit the price right away. You can also edit the bedrooms and bathrooms and the map coordinates of where it's showing up on the map. You cannot update anything aside from that. And it is only for your listings that you're able to do that. Sold listings, how our system will work for the sold listings that are found on the sold page is it is associated with your board ID, and system pulls listings in, and most feeds going out will send their sold feed initially as deactivated listings. So it is not uncommon sometimes when you look at your solds that it will show a property that maybe you did a cancel relist. So in that case, you would just hit delete. So it's not showing up on your sold page because it isn't in fact sold, okay? For those ones there. Now you do have the ability as well to edit landing pages. So this is where you would go to do that. We do have another tutorial on how to go about editing your landing pages, but this is a great way to be able to customize them, change colors, change images, change what they say. You do have the ability to download these flyers, quote unquote. These are images that are in file types that are intended for like a printer or a graphic designer to utilize. Most consumers don't have the programs in their computers or software to be able to open up these image files. If you do need a copy of this in a format that you actually can utilize, just let us know. Now you do have the ability here to edit global content. So global content, if you are looking at this and it looks like it's foreign to you, don't touch it because chances are something might go wrong. So you do, this is more or less for scripts. So your before head code, Google Analytics code, if you have a live chat code, again, our support team would be more than happy to add that in. If you do need to edit it, you just simply hit edit. A lot of times this will be through source code script that you would add this in, and then you save it right there. Now, global settings, this is where all your information is going to be stored. So if you change your name, for example, or you become a broker from a sales rep, if you change your email address or contact information, your brokerage or your brokerage address, this is where you're going to edit this information. You can also display a different office name. So sometimes we have action, for example, this one here, but let's say it needs to say privately owned and operated, right? So then we would write it out how we want to do that. From label to sent from, so you have the ability to, the alerts are coming, where they're coming from, basically. This is also where you're going to update any social media links that you have. Please note that Facebook, in order for, if you're adding a Facebook widget, so people can like your page, sometimes you'll see it on the site where you can see the person's feed. It needs to be a Facebook page. It cannot be a Facebook profile. However, in your About widget here, for example, this is where these links are being edited right from here. This can be a profile, it can be a page, it doesn't matter in this situation. You can also show Facebook chat on your site. Again, that would be a business page URL for that chat. If you want to show monthly mortgage payments on the listings, you can do that, reflective of certain rates for that. Then you have some miscellaneous settings. So hide photos, main photo title. So you can actually edit what that black box says. So again, that's this little pop-up here. You can actually change what that says right there. And really, these are just a little thank you pop-up. right? So you can change what those say if you want to that way as well. Conversion codes, photo sizes, extra CSS. This is all stuff that's intended for a code to do some overriding if they need to do some updates for you that can't be done on the site itself specifically. Now, you do have as well the embedded options. So the embedded option, actually, we're going to go to lead gen options first. So the lead gen options, for me, it's turned off. If it is turned off for you, that is likely because you have some sort of lead gen option with us. So you're running a Google campaign. The reason we turn this off for those individuals is because people start playing around with the forced registration on their branded sites. And this is in the past, and so they're all intertwined now. And so what would happen is they turn forced registration off, and so we're driving all this traffic, and they're not generating any leads because there's nothing that's going to capture the lead. So we turn that off. However, if you do not have lead gen with us or a lead gen site of any sort, this will be accessible to you. So this allows you on the branded site to be able to adjust the forced registration. So how many photos they can look at before they're going to be required to sign in. Does this black box appear or not? How many listings can they look at? That sort of thing. So you can, if you're not able to access that, but you do want to make some adjustments, again, just let our support team know. They will make those adjustments with respect to that on the branded sites only. On the automated lead gen sites, the forced registration cannot be adjusted. Now, your embedded options here, so this is if you're just embedding a search somewhere on the site that you want it to appear, you can definitely do that. It's not commonly used, but it is here for you if you wish. You also have the ability to create website forms. So this is more, again, this is HTML code intended for somebody that understands this CSS scripting and HTML coding. Some people are very good problem solvers and can figure it out. Others have no clue. Again, if you have no clue, contact our support team. If you are looking for a customized form, meaning you have different form fields, appearance, options, not a standard first name, last name, phone, email, and a message kind of form, our support team can do that depending on the complexity of the form. There's often a small charge associated with creating any kind of custom form for you. Now you do also have incoming leads as well. So this is a really cool tool if you have multiple users in your account, meaning that you might be a team and you have a couple buyer agents, a couple seller agents, or a big team. What this is going to allow you to do is if you go through the instructions here, so for example, a street match. Maybe me as an individual, I'm part of a team, I'm not a team leader, I want to try to get myself some street match leads, but I don't want to make my efforts reward the other agents on the team. I can do that. So this is the instructions on how to go about doing that. So it is giving you the assigned users underscore and then their ID. So it's showing you where you would go in here. So you basically go to settings and then you go to user accounts to find that person's ID. And from there, you can see when you open it up, you grab that ID and you put it at the end of the URL. That way, when you're grabbing the entire URL, including that ID, if you're running a Facebook campaign or if you have like a certain domain that forwards right to this page with your ID, then any lead that is derived from that page for your individual marketing efforts will only be assigned to you in the CRM system. If you need any more information or assistance with doing that, if you have or want to do this, or a team member wants to do this and just it's a little bit too complex, again, our support team is more than happy to help you with this to be able to achieve that overall goal. So this is really your basic overall understanding of the website editor. So again, you're in your CRM. If you have an editable website, you click on here from your website link. It is going to open up the CRM on this page initially. Then you're going to use in Website Editor to be able to pull up your website in editor mode. From there, now you can adjust the titles, adjust the drop downs, add pages, remove pages. One thing that is cool that I like to mention is your community pages actually have a text field right above the listing. So this is a great way to add content to your website that may be valuable to visitors. Not only that, Google is going to recognize that you are adding content to your website on a regular basis. So hopefully this helps. If you need any support or assistance with the website editor and making changes to your website, please contact support@agentlocator.ca.